I was on mute this whole time. I am so sorry. Thank you, Timothy. Appreciate it, man. I'm trash. Look, see, thank you for saying something because I did the whole little thing. That's crazy. Now I look crazy, but I appreciate you, Timothy. It wasn't just you, man. It was me. But I think everybody can hear me now. Welcome to the comedy stylings of Kendall King CPA. All right, so yeah, I'm playing the LinkedIn games again. Like what you missed because that wasn't on. I wasn't talking to people. Was that LinkedIn? Has games now on. Where it's supposed to can bring people together. I'm trying to normalize the games in the corporate space and Hollywood accounting, everything. So that's what I'm doing right now. And this one is getting me. Let me see. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, I know those two up there. And then what's here? I know these got to be one of these two. And then these two. Boom, boom, boom. All right, good. The pressure is on. So, and I don't take all day. Y'all might have to see me take a hint. Hold on, hold on. All right, good. Green, green, yellow. I'm gonna take a hint just to speed this up. What's going on? Highlighted regions must contain one each. What I do? Oh, gotta get rid of these. Bit. All right, so that here. Yeah, I know. I'm trash. I used the hint. Sorry. Oops. But again, since I'm being timed, I'm trying. I ain't trying to take too much time on this, so I'm just going. I'm just gonna do this. That's gotta be red. That's gotta be yellow. Boom. Oh, dirt. Is that it? All right. I took a hint. I'm not crushing it. That was horrible. But yeah, sorry I missed like the first 6 minutes because my value was muted. It's crazy. All right, bet. Now I'm on Instagram. Okay, bet. Look, I appreciate you, man. Okay, so now we get into Hollywood County. So again, what we're gonna do here, we're gonna do updates for CPAcon as that comes closer. Um, Give me a little bit more light. And then we're also going to be talking about things that's happening in the fields that I like focus on, which are entertainment, content creators, digital assets, stuff like that. Well, first off, digital assets. Dogecoin got on a bull run today, and I was able to hit a hit a sell limit. So you know I'm pretty happy about that. But let me just focus. CPAcon, CPAcon. We are moving into we're less almost a month away, and we got some great partners lining up. We got some speakers lining up, and we're all still looking for more players. And if you have reached out for either volunteer opportunities or to speak or anything like that, trust and believe you will be contacted. There's just a lot of stuff that a lot of moving parts. So you will be contacted because we are looking for volunteers. We are looking for additional players if you're interested. We are looking for just more people to be involved. A huge big update that we have added again, which we'll talk about more and everything, is that we're adding a component that we like to kind of call still figuring out the name, but like a financial fair aspect. So not too different from a career fair where we have eligible folks, businesses and everything come and look to connect with other students or others or job seekers in general, right? We'll have that just naturally from the booths and people who are looking to get into the accounting field or want to change some things up. However, for the small business owners as well, we want to add which is going to be place outside in the promenade area of the shrine, but essentially, like a market fair, bringing together small businesses, providing financial tips and hacks, and last minute answers to questions for the year. But the goal is to get small businesses in there to potentially match make and find, an accountant. We're going to have all these accountants and financial professionals in the building, literally in the building, competing and having fun and connecting and learning. But then also, just being able to go outside and potentially connect and find some additional clients. So in addition to connecting job seekers with jobs, we want to connect firm owners, small business firm owners, with potential clients as well. And it'll grow over time, where we can, all types of deal making can happen. But for sure, we wanted to make sure to highlight those folks who were small business owners, firm owners who are looking for more clients, looking to expand. And again, even financial professionals, insurance, anything like that. The businesses are coming here to find that all in one place, with some entertainment, and hopefully also maybe get some people interested in the field itself, which is the point of really what CPAcon is about, is to expose the accounting space in a greater light, in a more entertaining and engaging space, so that people want to join and be involved. So that's what we're doing, and we're adding. So let me go on. So again, if you are interested in speaking, go to our website, thecpacon.com, or thecpacon.com if you're not as fancy. And definitely apply, reach out, or just send me something on LinkedIn. Either way, Instagram, wherever you're at, and we can connect there. But that's the CPAcon. Now let's go into some updates in accounting that I've been kind of keeping my eye on, which is interesting. So first off is boom. Let's do this. First off, in the news, is specifically if you are in Los Angeles, or California in general, some news just happened yesterday from the governor. So I might be limited on my access, but I'm just gonna pop up this article real quick. Of course. It's never enough. Never enough. All right. Inside the business of entertainment. That's kind of what I'm doing here, man. But we're on the LA Times website, and we're going to talk about just a little bit about Gavin Newsom's film and tax TV credit. So, for those who don't know, tax credits are available to production companies who are making content in a certain area, state, or locale, whatever, which one you want to call it. Usually, historically, a lot of businesses and a lot of productions were in Hollywood, because obviously that's Hollywood. But more so over the past few years, past 10 years or even more than that, but around there is that a lot of the productions have been either going to out of state, to Canada. They have some really great tax credits up there. Also in New York and Georgia are some big ones that have good tax credits. Again, I'm not listing a full exhaustive list, but essentially there were other states and other locales or other places that were creating tax credit incentives to draw productions into their city, state, or whatever. And they do this obviously because productions bring in additional revenue for the state. And so one thing that Gavin Newsom has proposed, and looks like it's moving pretty quickly, and it's going to happen, is going into the budget for 2025. Hold on, let me just make sure I got the right thing up. So I'm going to scroll down. All right, boom. All right, yeah. All right, cool. So scrolling down, I don't know how much they're going to let me show on here or not. because you got to like pay for the LA Times. But essentially, it's a nice little article. If you want to read it, you can. I'm gonna just highlight some of the pros and cons, um, about what is going on. And so essentially, pros, right? So the pros of this is that the California, LA, wherever we're doing it, who are getting those benefits, they're bringing more business and job creation within, California. If you are also into the landscape and everything, we just got off of a strike not too long ago last year. Where at SAG aftra, striking. Currently, the video game industry is facing a strike as well. But in the past, Hollywood slowed down tremendously because of those strikes, and it actually had a very, meaningful impact, in a bad way, to people's livelihoods and their jobs. And so this is definitely going to be something that would, like, really energize that and get the Hollywood back moving. I also saw a recent thing about there's going to be more like Netflix, and the bigger studios are planning on spending more. So that's like good news, for people. So that's good. Let me just put his. I don't know. You can just listen to me talk, but so that's a good pro. Again, bringing back jobs, bringing in some money into the state is always good, and obviously as the governor, that's what you want to do, to help. So it's really going to help the industry recover after both the pandemic and then into a strike, and just the streaming wars hitting a peak, where everybody's making content and spending the money. It's like now they had to kind of readjust basically. So this is actually going to help quite a few things, in that space. Again, this is to compete with the other states such as New York and Georgia, again, Canada too. But again, just helping to compete so that they can bring again more business in at the end of the day. And I guess a big con for people is number one, expanding these tax credits really just means that, it's adding to California's expenses, right? Because a tax credit is essentially saying if you, and sorry if I miss this, but essentially if you do a production in this state, you got to spend your costs first. So you got to spend, the money. But if you have a production budget for $1 million per se, right? So you spend $1 million and the tax credit on, you hit the eligible tax credit of 10%. So of the $1 million, and again, I'm very, very much so simplifying this, because there's some other factors, but just trying to make it in a way that's pretty digestible. Is let's just say you get 10% of your costs back in a tax credit. You still spend the $1 million. In some states, I got to check, I forget what California does, but in some states that either offset specifically that company's taxes when they, file their taxes, or the company actually sends them a refund of that 10%. So if that's the case, if I have $1 million production, I follow and I'm eligible to receive this tax credit, I can either, I got to pay my $1 million first, and then I will get 100K back in the future via either the government paying me directly in the future or the government able to, deduct that from my taxes when I file my taxes for my company. So those are, the things. So if the state is doing that, the reason I bring all that up, because if the state is doing that, then that means that that's an additional expense or loss of revenue, however you want to see it, and therefore would potentially increase the cost to the taxpayers, at the end of the day. So I think that's a big thing that people always, are like signaling if you're going to expand it. And he's expanding it from, let me see how much is from 330 to 750 million, which again, beats out New York, which is 700. So he's really trying to get California back on the map when it comes to Hollywood productions. Another thing that comes up is the potential inequity that would potentially come to light, because a lot of the critics are saying that larger studios who have the resources and the budgets obviously to take on a lot more of those credits, because again, it's not that simple of a process. It's, again, you need definitely an account. You need to follow the rules and be on top of everything. And just for people who don't know, you can be an accountant for a production and do these particular things. You can be an accountant specifically on the production. You can be like, so actually on the set of a production, or you could be an accountant at the studio and be like the corporate side, that interacts with the production side. You can also be a separate company that does tax credits, specifically a separate company that helps with residuals or any of the other entertainment specific accounting and finance related stuff. So if you didn't know, now you know that you can do this in the space. And so it's really cool. And, this is some of the stuff that I've done as far as on the corporate side and a little bit on the production side. I actually never been to an actual set. Well, I take that back. I've never been to a set doing the accounting. I've done the accounting for productions, but usually in the corporate office for, people. But, that is one thing I do want to do. I just don't really necessarily want to commit. You got to be on there. It's almost like a 24/7 job for a short amount of time, for however long the production happens. And it's like a gig economy and production accounting. So just throwing it out there that those are the potential pros and cons. I ultimately think that it's, going to be a good thing to bring in, that and stimulate the Hollywood economy for sure. But yeah, I think that, it'll help. So that's my thought on Gavin Newsom's proposal. So let me share. We got 8 more minutes, and I wanted to talk about another thing I saw that was interesting. We all know Forbes, right? So Forbes just put out there. Let me get boom. The top creator. Oh, boo. Let me do that again. The top creators for 2024. The top creators. So basically, those who are making their money on Instagram, the influencers, YouTube, stuff like that, right? And I was interested in the list, obviously, because I have clients that are creators and seeing if they top the list. And not directly, they didn't, but we can go down the list and see. And what I wanted to point this out specifically because there's an indicator on here specifically around business that I wanted to highlight and talk about, because I said this with all my creator clients. But going down, it just talks about how the creator economy is, growing, and that, here it was the influencer estimated to be worth 250 billion today. And by 2027, which is in 3 years, they're saying it's going to be 500 billion. So it's going to double in the next 3 years. Me and Jackie, my wife, were talking about, because we've seen one of the actual people on this list, in a lot of different commercials and stuff like that lately, and how, it's so much more effective with this type of marketing for businesses, and that's why it's moving. So yeah, that makes sense to me. Is only going to grow. And number one, I don't think it's to anybody's surprise, is Mr. Beast. These numbers are estimated by Forbes, so these might not be actually correct. And it does not include. It's a whole little blurb. Sorry, hold on. There's a blurb down. I hate to go through the list, but there's a blurb that says, like, this doesn't count like their equity positions or anything like that. It's just like assets and stuff that they can estimate. So Mr. Beast, number one, he has about 503 million followers. He makes about 85 million, in his earnings. Average engagement is 2.38%, which is very telling. I think a lot of people think that you got to be an influencer and you got to have all these people engaging with you. Especially when you get to these types of numbers, it's like, a 2.38% engagement is actually, very good. And, let's get our calculator. Favorite, my best friend, and everything that I do. So 503, let's just do this real quick. 503, 103 million times 0.0238. So his engagement, so people who are actively engaging with content, either commenting, clicking links and stuff like that. Not just, I don't think this is just like, this is actual engagement. He gets about 11 point, let's say 12 million. He gets about 12 million people who actually engage with him, which is huge, because if you could talk to and reach 12 million people, obviously you would want to pay a decent amount of money for that. And so I say this a lot, that at the end of the day, a lot of creators start off as a billboard, or just advertisement, but that's where this entrepreneurship score comes in, because they rank it 1 through 4, and the 4 means that you are building your own brand and you're moving stuff forward, versus a 1, which is basically saying that you're just promoting somebody else's brand. So he's getting the 4 because he is, obviously he got a full company. He just got the deal. I think I did a Hollywood Accounting episode earlier in the year, when he was getting his deal with Amazon to do a show. But he got the candy bars. The Amazon shows, Beast Games. He's got but yeah, actually has some controversy now that I think about it this past few times. And I think the unsafe conditions on set. I think when you're getting into something new, you got a lot to learn, and got to make sure you got the right people in place, which is important. But again, let me go through the list. You get a number 4 because he's building he's building a brand outside of the brands who are just paying him to push his stuff. And he's probably at a point now where he doesn't even care that he needs to push their brand. He's pushing his own. He's maybe interweaving it into what he's doing and getting some additional money, but he is really pushing it and built his own brand up that people are following now and that he's pushing. So, and I think, again, recently this year also, he, separated from his agency and hired internal staff. So internal CEO, last time I checked. I'm assuming he would have hired a CFO as well to manage his company. But I think, again, when creators get to that level as well, you get to a level where you start off as a creator, you're doing everything. You're probably doing a lot. You probably didn't have many people to help you in what you're doing, because, they cost money. So you're doing a lot. You get to a point, it's like, okay, I'm pretty successful now. Maybe I can get a manager now. All right, you got a manager. Manager helps with the day-to-day, helps with communicating, everything like that. You're still moving on. You don't really, you're not at that level yet where you need anything more than that. Then we have, you reach the level of getting an agent. Again, this isn't the only way to do this, but this is like a way to do it. So you get an agent, and then, you're making some money. Money is coming in, money is flowing. You probably have a CPA or a tax professional, somebody at the end of the year to do your taxes. Don't know if you're at that level yet where you're getting a bookkeeper or accountant throughout the year, but let's just say you do that. Your next level is, all right, maybe I do need an accountant, to help with this and keep on this and go throughout and maybe add them to my team. Who knows? But I've still got my agent, still got my manager, still pushing, and they're helping with my deal flow and making sure I got money and everything. I think you go to that next level, and I might be skipping some levels, but essentially that next level where it's like, all right, now I'm a business man, at this point now, and I need to have a CEO to run the operations. I need a CFO. And that's what I do. CFO to come in and manage my financials and make sure that, financially I'm executing everything I'm doing. And then bringing in a COO, operations to help with the day-to-day and everything. Sometimes the talent can kind of sit as that CEO, or the talent sits as, maybe a chairman or something to direct it. But, it's only so much you can do in one day. And you also want to lean on other people's professional abilities. And so getting a CEO, a CFO, and other professionals is great to build that up. So I just say that to say that, that's where he's going, where, this 85 million takes a team to generate and to move and to make things happen. So just throwing that out there. Next on the list is Darman. I'm not gonna I say Darman, but I'm gonna keep just going to scroll through the list. Matt, and again, just notice how some of these scores are different. Her score is still 4. His is 3, or theirs is 3. Sorry, hers is 4. So basically, if you're in the top 10, you're in the top 10 because you probably, really created a brand, out of what you're doing. You're not just pushing everybody else's brand. You're doing your own stuff. And so 3 and 4. Drewski's up. Look, all right, let's go Drewski. Number 11. Who else is on here? Obviously the Pauls. Next. Emma, Andre. Because again, all like he's 10 million earnings, which is different than the 32 million here. But again, he's higher on the list because he's able to, do, his score is 4 is a 4. His followers ain't even that much. When you think about what we just calculated. So if we get our handy dandy calculator, he's got 2.4 million times 0.71, sorry, 0.71, no, sorry, 0.071. So yeah, he's only got 180 people watching them. So that's, again, a stark difference, but he's able to he built his own thing. I think he also just recently came out with an app. He got grilled on that, but that's what happens when you innovate and push forward. So other people on the list, I do want to shout out. I saw Kai on this list. I think he was number 24. Yep, number 24. I do want to identify again here. He's, a 2. And while, again, he was the one that we saw on all the commercials, he's out there. He's pushing it out there. And again, this is nothing to, to down him or anything. And obviously he's still growing and he is building a team. I know he works with agents and they're helping him and pushing him forward. But him being a 2 versus a 4 is because, again, he's more so pushing other people's stuff. He's still coming together, and him and his team is still coming together to create his own true brand and his own true company. And even look at this engagement. This is 7.9%. That's huge. That might even be more than, again, it's just like, that's a really good number. I don't even think I've seen anybody's engagement that high, actually. So he's actually he's getting a lot more engagement than a lot of people are, for his, percentage wise, but he still needs some time to turn this entrepreneurship score from a 2 to the 4 by increasing the brand. And when you think of that, how can you push more businesses and create more things outside of just being that, poster or billboard, I should say. How can you push more instead of just, again, showing up in other people's commercials? How are you doing that for you? So that's the thought process. And that's what I help creators with as well, is to turn their stuff into businesses. And, that's what I'm helping with DreamCon. And, that's a big one. So we'll stop there. But there's some other ones as well that I'm helping and moving forward. This is a good one, 4.26%. Oh, there you go. All right. 13.4. She got the lead so far from everybody's name. But that's it for today, y'all. I just wanted to talk about those things. Again, we reviewed some of the CPAcon updates. So if you are interested, please hit the website, thecpacon.com, and reach out to me. Again, happy to take it through YouTube, through LinkedIn as well, or Instagram, whatever. And the financial fair. So stay tuned. If you are a small business and you want to come and you want to get access to financial professionals, accountants, insurance agents, financial CFPs, so certified financial planners and stuff to really help you move and grow, CPAcon will be a place for that. And then we talked about Gavin Newsom's tax credit for Hollywood, which I think will ultimately be, really good to stimulating the economy and giving back, some jobs and stuff that were sorely missing. And then, we reviewed the top creators list and just really understood what the difference is when, you're starting as a creator, how you're kind of looked at as an advertising, advertising billboard at one point, but then growing that into having your own brand and building that and pushing that forward. So Again, take a look at the list, take a look at the article. Let me know. We also played our games today. So I appreciate everybody stopping in, and thank you for staying over with me for a little bit. But yeah, appreciate y'all. Hope y'all have a great day. We're going to end the stream. And also, if you wanted to be a guest and want to talk on Hollywood accounting on live with me, we can do that too. I'm just I'm just here. I'm just talking. We're gonna fill it out. We're gonna really get this to a place that has all the bells and whistles. But I'm just